We've got a lead about that weird thing someone was suspicious about. The fact that there was a way better ship to target with 10 times the cargo. But they went after the shitty one. And they were specifically told to redirect back to the shitty one once they took notice of the better target. And it's because the board is deciding who they actually hit, and they're profiting off of it. If that is true. We'll see if the evidence checks out.
This is the outpost. Rebecca! Anders! Come on out!
I'm not sure Rebecca and Anders are ready to go right now. There are Marauder ringleaders. There was a Marauder ringleader. Now there's a dead. I'm overpowered. Yes, I am. Rebecca and Anders.
Hey,
Not to be confused with Rebecca Chambers.
The door's busted. Rebecca? Anders? You in there? Huh. Rebecca taught me this once. You can jerry-rig these old locks so as they don't open anymore. But we've only ever done that if we're in a real bind. Here, I'll fix it.
Ah. Uh-oh. That's a body.
Oh no. What did you do?
Oh, hell. I'm sorry, Nyoka.
They both have their medallions. Nope, all the evidence we're gonna get's on this pad. Its display is faded and the buttons are almost entirely rusted through, but you can still make out bits and pieces of what look like Rebecca's final entries. La help me, but Anderson was right. We never should have taken this contract. I thought Monarch was bad, but this is unbearable. Everyone here is blind or addled or I don't know what. The towns won't let us walk in without an employment contract. I can't even find someone to let me send a message. For all the capable folk here, we're stuck. Back home, we had to fight for every meal because there were no meals that you didn't make yourself. Here there's plenty, but nobody's allowed to give you one. We've been stealing bits and pieces of life from wherever we can. Anderson's about ready to sign up. Offer his life in service to Spacer's Choice so he can take a shower. Clara? I hope to the architect this never reaches you, but on the chance that it does, I want to say I'm sorry. Anderson and I fucked up. We didn't take the contract for the bits. We didn't take it because primals sounded cool. We took it because we wanted out. Monarch's a living hell. We're sick of getting sick of boiled raptidon and stinking like sulfur no matter how hard you scrub. Of fighting day in and day out. We're exhausted. We thought we could use the contract money to find a place here, settle down, but this place ain't any better. It's just different. We're starving all the same. We never should have left. I just thought maybe we could do better. I miss you, kid. Marauder's at the door. Anderson's bled out. I'm on my way. I won't let them get me. Not alive. Not anyway. I've seen what those monsters do. So things ended real bad. All around.
They were... That bitch! They were all set to abandon us! What would Clara say, huh? Every day she'd ask if we heard from you. And she'd have forgiven you. The kid had a soul that made the sulfur smell like roses. Ugh. I'd leave your medallions to rot with you, but Clara would want to be buried with her sister.
It is rough she abandoned her own sister. But yeah, everyone's just kind of miserable and trying to seek a better life. But then realizing the hard way that there is no better life in this system. They had potentially one of the better spots. Once you get to the board controlled areas, things just kind of get worse and worse. But you can't really know that going in. And they ultimately got taken out by Marauders because they just didn't have enough people to help them. Meanwhile, I'm a super soldier mega nightmare man who just destroyed them instantly with like no care, but you know.
At least I know. Ought to have learned by now that getting one's hopes up tends to open them to being dashed across the stars. I hate to say this, but Clara died thinking her sister was still fighting to get back home. I think I'm glad. If she were still alive now, it'd break her to know the truth.
No, it's fucked up to be like, yeah, it's great. It's better off, they're better off dead. She'd still want to know, just the same as you did.
Yeah, maybe. I'm used to disappointment. She was still so naive as to let it hurt her every time it happened. Only thing left is to take these medallions home, which means figuring out how to bait the Manta Queen out of our old base. The most pissed off I've ever seen a queen was when a foreign species was on her soil. I'd wager the stench of a primal might do the trick.
Might do it? I didn't think there was anything about the wilderness you don't know.
That'd be boring. Half the fun in exploring is the fact that you're on an unknown trail. I've never had the pleasure of hunting primals, but I hear they're all over Silla. Let's tear a few apart, shall we? I'm sure they've got pheromones. Everything does.
Do we have to? Collect 3 pheromone glands from pungent primals. What a name. Pungent primals. Pungent primals. Yep, it's sending me back to the unreliable. Yeah. I think it might be mandatory. Well, funnily enough, we're going back to Silla anyway. Although it's going to be the other part of Silla. Funny how the next step in both of their quests takes me to the exact same planet. All those different maps. Harlow's base doesn't even have enemies. Well, not yet. There might be enemies in a moment. Are we gonna have a shootout? Huh. Can I can fast travel those spaces from here, apparently? The Silla line, huh? I just noticed that the other, like there was a bunch of waypoints, as if I could actually interact with them from this screen. Usually doesn't work that way. Clyde, the evidence.
That machine stole my bits. Why do we even have one of these?
That's what I asked early on, I think. Like that guy was having a weird protest about the using terminals. It's like, y'all use their vending machines. That's way weirder. Stash receipts. These receipts detail payments made to C. Harlow on behalf of the board for freelancing services. Included are the names of several freighters targeted by Harlow's crew, their manifests, and the sum value of all cargo delivered to board authorities. Hey Harlow, you free for a Q&A? Marlowe might be disappointed in you.
What's the word?
It's done. Trask is dead.
So it is. Thus ends Rufus Trask. Once a sensible man, by and by a fool, presently a corpse. I hope you never have to discover what it is like, Captain. The relief one feels when a mutiny comes to an end.
And Trask had some things to say about you. And I've got my own misgivings.
Trask told me you've been working for the board.
That's a damning accusation. Am I right to presume you have some evidence on hand?
I've never heard anyone pronounce the N in damning before. Whoa. You've been bought off. I've got the receipts.
Those papers don't prove a thing. We've all done business with the board. They own the whole damn colony. Trask put you up to this. That miserable wretch. He's trying to undermine everything I stand for.
When we met, you told me Trask was an informant for the board. You were lying.
You've got a lot of nerve calling me a liar to my face.
Come on, Harlow. Why would Trask rat you out to your own employers?
How should I know? What the hell do I care? Trask was a traitor. I didn't ask you to understand his motives. I asked you to cross him off.
Clyde, look me in the eye and tell me it's not true. Tell me, and I'll believe you.
Don't talk to me like I'm some common criminal, Felix. You're the one on trial, not me. I don't know what kind of poison that snake dripped in your ear, but as far as I'm concerned, you've been compromised.
Oop. Don't do that. 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 Boop. I win. Uh-oh. I don't recommend this, guys. So I do not recommend. Do not recommend.
That's the last of them.
Well, so much for the revolution, everybody. Steal, 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 steal. Don't think I have to worry about the long-term ramifications of my reputation with this group. Well, sorry, buddy.
This is definitely not how I imagined it'd end. The void's black, water's wet, and Clyde hated the board. That's something I just knew. Now? I don't know. I don't know what to think.
You never really know what's going on inside somebody's skull.
No. I guess you really don't. I've just got a lot on my mind right now. This is a lot to take in. I always looked up to Clyde. The thought that he could be an agent of the board is just abhorrent to me.
I can understand why you're upset. You feel like he betrayed you.
Yeah, he did. And I'm not sure how I'm gonna get over that.
It'll pass. Give it time.
I hope so. I don't see this one passing anytime soon. You've given me a lot to think about. I'm gonna be mulling over this whole mess for a couple of days. Part of me wishes we'd put Trask in the ground. But you know, I think that's just my frustration talking. Thanks for your time, boss.
Do 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 do. I can help it pass. Next layer of hacking or lockpicking. Hack auto mechanicals. I'm not sure how you do that exactly, but I'm curious. Perks for days. Oh, there's so many. Don't care about that or that. That's not great. Maybe I should just go for the headshot one. One more meter. Just build that thing up. There we go. Felix gained the self-governed trait. Post-armor damage dealt 50 plus 50%. That's a lot, actually. A decent chunk of armor. It's unfortunate that a lot of people died because their leader was a traitor and they didn't even understand that about him.
Incoming, Captain!
Right, here we go!
Everyone all right?
The mechanicals do not care, like at all. Guess I'll just fast travel to the other part of Silla since I can via this map. Save me a trip back onto the ship. I do need to change guns though. It's... yeah, 3. My other gun's running out of durability. We're on the lookout for pungent primals. Try out that new musk. Isn't that like an ingredient that somebody was selling? No, I think the parts selling guy that's kind of not popular for his products necessarily. I think he was trying to sell the stuff from the dog creatures. Hi there. Whoa, look at him fly away. Combat. He looks like a good listener, doesn't he? Gonna just like propped up on his arms, just concentrating. I just got a kick out of the fact that her attack went off and then he was just kind of sitting there completely still. Like, I guess this is the end for me. This is the hardest difficulty, except for the one that makes your perks mandatory. Your negative ones. But I've only rejected one flaw so far, so I guess that's the only difference between this and the highest difficulty as far as I can remember. I could be wrong about that. Hi.
Attacking! And that's how it's done, Captain.
I pressed the wrong button, but it didn't really matter. It's a good thing there's still a pheromone gland in that pile of ash that was left over. The outlaws are terrible at surviving in these situations. Rude?
Can we do that again?
Who's next? Man, I'll talk about upgrades and replacements and whatnot, but honestly, I feel like I could probably just beat the game with this weapon. See?
One down.
Balancing. I don't even know how to spell the word. Pungent primals. Brrr, 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 brrr. Colonel Butterscotch. Remember when he was kind of dangerous a little bit ago? That went away. Last time I fought him, he was way more dangerous. Also, he respawns apparently. I wasn't expecting that. Get him. There you go.
Started.
Why is my screen like this? Oh, I think I got a concussion with my full health. Big ouchies. It might just be time for us to go back to Monarch. Interesting, you can warp up and down between the two separate maps, and it does actually canonically leave your ship in the previous map, implying that you like walked between those spots, and they're like traversable, which didn't seem to be the case, but maybe it is. A lot of those. I think I'm good. Is it time to make you stronger? I do have a lot of money. Whatever makes you happy, right? Oh my god, that's expensive. It does get expensive. Whoopsie. Oh god, the next one's 24 grand. Those prices explode. What are all these tinker items? I guess I can't break them down, but I could sell them or something. No, I don't have those items on me. Why were they available for... Oh, it's everybody else's equipment. Oh no, I pretty much just throw the generic layer. I pretty much just throw starter weapons at them.
My vacuum tubes require evacuating. No, not those. The ones in port. Yes, there. Thank you. And while you're at it, could you switch my binaries to that? Exactly. I haven't felt this clean and efficient since Captain Hawthorne installed my subalternate auxiliary backup processor.
Aw, my ship's at the spa, basically. Well, I'm glad Sam and Ada are getting along. And they've gotten to the kinky shit now.
We're now in orbit above Fallbrook, Captain.
I wasn't quite ready for the idea of Sam, this giant, strong mech character with all these like guns and like the acid sprayer, like cleaning gun and other elements that he's got, and then he's like, ow, Jesus. And then a moment later he's like, and here is my feather duster. He just pops out with like, that's normal. Oh, no, okay.
That queen ain't gonna go down easy. I can't wait. What's up?
These glands are gross. Take them, please.
Outstanding. These ought to be enough. Let's get back to Monarch.
That's where we are.
There's an old base I used to call home. I can get us in the door, but we'll have to shoot our way through the Queen's brood to get to the center. We'll set the bait there. Password to the door is Charon.
Subtle. The thing that you've already called everything else. What's Charon?
Hayes' idea. Clara, Hayes, Anders, Rebecca, Opal, Nyoka. Charon. He said it was some old myth. Something about death and all the things we killed. Rest of us just thought it sounded cool, so here we are.
Remind me, what's this base again?
It's an old cave system we tried to turn into an encampment. You'll see when we get there.
It's about time. We're going to kill a Manta Queen. We've killed so many Manta Queens, dude.
Fucking right we are.
Ludo narrative dissonance is at an all-time high. Just because there's such a huge gap between what everyone's saying and what the gameplay experience is like whenever I do anything. I'm confused about this. From what I've heard, Pillars of Eternity is supposed to be hard on its high difficulties. So it's not like this is like the norm for their difficulties at this company or anything necessarily. I wasn't inclined to use it, partly because I'm not great at CRPGs and partly because the game's really complicated, but also because the game's really long. Like the eternity in its name is not a joke. So I really was happy to stick to normal. Because even if it could have been more complicated and interesting on a higher difficulty, it was already like an astronomically long playthrough.
Here we go. I haven't set foot in here since... Wow. I'm ready. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Here we go.
Charon. Oh, there's an ad about the thing I've noticed. I wonder how many times that's popped up, because I don't always look at the loading screens. I get a lot of shit for that sometimes. Like, oh my god, it's come up like 12 times if you've never looked at it. It's like, I'm playing a game and commentating, and sometimes the loading screen is like my chance to take a break in the experience, not agonize over every detail in the couple seconds before it vanishes, which sometimes will be before I can take anything else in. But I did see that. The faux windows. Why are the windows fake? I don't know. Might have been able to read that, but it disappeared almost immediately because this is on PC and it loads really quickly. In fact, I'm used to playing things on PC where loading screens come and go really quickly, which makes me largely give up on the idea of ever trying to read them.
Hell of a job.
Ready, everyone?
Going silent.
What? Did I just see a body go flying across the room? A really weird moment.
Well, this is the spot. You know, I thought I'd be angry. I thought I'd storm in here in a rage and exterminate all these bugs and everything would be all right in the end. But I ain't. I'm mostly just empty. A little sad, maybe. The first night Hayes and I spent in here, we knew it was home. It's safe. It's got a nice chill to it. But mostly, it doesn't stink of sulfur. Monarch folks often joke about it. Not because of the smell or the grittiness it leaves in your throat. Not because of the headaches or the coughing. It's because there's no escaping it. It's life here, and there ain't anything you can do about it. But here, somehow the sulfur never made it. The nights we spent in here felt like vacations. So we started building. We hauled in steel, hired sublight folk to help. That's how we met Anders and Opal. They stuck around after our contract was up. Opal liked camping. Anders liked chasing her tail. 4 of us for a while, scraping together what bits we could to build our home. Then came Rebecca, a sawbones out of the Cascadia survivors, who took a kindness to Hayes. And Clara, her little sister. I'll admit I wasn't keen on taking her on at first, but for a teenager, she was surprisingly capable. She had a head for numbers, helped us trade hides for food and materials, negotiated contracts. Turned out to be mighty useful. Clara, Hayes, Anders, Rebecca, Opal, and me. 6 folks, 1 name, 1 family, Charon. Despite Monarch trying to kill us day in and day out, we managed to belong.
You were a family. I'm sorry they're gone, Nyoka.
Me too, Captain. But I'm starting to think that maybe I found another. Now let's get to shooting before I get all sentimental.
Aw, we're all gonna die too. It was nice of the Manta Queen to wait for a conversation politely while we did this. Oh, I think they died. Oh. Oh. Okay. It's gonna be a bit of an issue. If you guys can get back up, please. That's legitimately a lot of enemies.
To shreds, you say?
To shreds, you say.
You die here, woman.
Ouch. Why aren't they getting back up? Ah, shit. Why aren't my teammates getting back up when I heal? Stop, drop, and roll, asshole. How do I do it? Crouch. Crouch. How do I stop being on fire? Humans usually have a way of doing this. Thanks for your help, everybody.
I wish these were more auspicious circumstances, but at least we're all here. This bringing them together, burying them. This is the kind of thing Hayes would have done. That makes it stupid. By all accounts, we should have left well enough alone, but that also makes it right. Captain, thank you.
You're welcome, Naoka.
You mind if we rest a spell before we head out? I'd like to bury Opal and Clara proper before I lay everyone's medallions to rest.
You're leaving the medallions here? I suppose that's wise. Go ahead. What's that sound? Oh. The small toolbox is locked, and it seems Naoka has broken the mechanism so it can't be opened. Inside, you hear the rattling of several small metal objects, likely her team's medallions. I picked it up and, like, shook it. Don't do that. Opal Obliate. One of the very few who deserved better. Rebecca Hodges. At the very least, you came back to us in the end. Andrews Wadsworth. Between Raptidons and women, he died doing what he loved, chasing tail. Jackson Hayes. His most egregious crime was having the gall to die before me. Clara Hodges. The closest thing to a sister that I ever lost.
You know, I'd been assuming this entire stay on your ship thing isn't a permanent arrangement. Part of my contract? That said, you ain't been eaten or shot to death yet. Says a lot about the stability of your future. And to be honest, I'm about sick of sleeping on bar stools. So how's about this? You keep letting me stay on that ship of yours, and I'll keep shooting at the things you point at.
Sounds good to me.
Outstanding.
They went heavy on the alcoholism, didn't they? Her eyes are always half lidded, and half the time she's like wobbling in place. Like it's all she can do to keep going. Where the hell is this Mr. Pickett thing? Because I keep not quite getting around to it. See if I can finally do that. So I've put it up. I think I've put it off long enough. Adds beauty and verisimilitude to your frontier home. Verisimilitude refers to the simulation of reality. Comes up a lot when they talk about cinema and even games, I suppose, with the idea of this exaggerated or stylized version of reality that somehow makes it feel more realistic. Weird elements like how punching at somebody's face, they'll make a sound effect of the punch hitting that you probably wouldn't hear otherwise, but not hearing it somehow makes it feel less real. It's those kinds of weird details. Oh, hi. Boom. This feels rude.
Else it'd have been a hell of a lot tougher.
Eh.
The only thing nastier than a giant bug's a sick one. Nature's disgusting.
We've largely taken care of all of them in the past. I don't think it's that big of an issue. What? Clicked on inventory. Why'd that happen? This journal details Mr. Pickett's ill-timed trip to Stellar Bay just before the hazard clause went into effect, and his attempts to hunt a Manta Queen to bring to Edgewater. I still got a few things in Stellar Bay I'm trying to follow up on, including that one item that I didn't seem to be able to figure out how to even get to.
I shipped with a merc who had a gun like yours, Nyoka. He polished it, sang to it, slept with it. Not like that, as far as I know.
Sounds like he had himself a discerning palate. Where are you going with this?
He couldn't hit the broadside of an assault cruiser, hence the tin shredder.
Wouldn't be the first man I met bearing compensation for his lack of skill.
Damn.
You look like a man who's looking for some mostly fresh animal parts?
Sebastian, you ever get your hands on those pheromone sacks? Manipillars ain't gonna hunt themselves, you know.
I must have hunted a dozen, but I couldn't find a single sack on any of them. Must be looking in the wrong place.
Manipillars ain't got pheromone sacks. I just told him that so he'd stop asking me for advice.
At least I'm getting a good haul of claws in the process. You're in good hands, traveling with Monarch's top merc. Still, if you want any rat glands or manticlaws, I've got you covered.
I found Mr. Pickett's journal.
He'll probably be wanting it back. You see any sign of him?
I found the journal inside a dead Manta Queen.
Funny place to leave a journal. But what about Mr. Pickett?
Who knows, but by the look of things, this guy's a real escape artist.
Mysteries of the universe, I guess. So this journal is all he left behind? Seems like I ought to read it. Looks mighty long, though.
Maybe focus on not sending anyone else out alone against the Manta Queen. Except me.
Yeah, you're probably right. In any case, I appreciate you tracking down Mr. Pickett for me. Here's some bits for your trouble.
Let's talk about something else.
Huh? Like what?
Nah. JK. Alright, we're getting there. That's on hold until Byzantium. Somebody hired Catherine's team to make a blind supply drops at the bridge near north of Fallbrook. Investigating the area may lead to proof you need. That's the main thing now. Hi. Hi. Nothing awkward there. Just look around, there's just people staring lovingly into your eyes. Look, another Manta Queen. Those things are supposed to be really dangerous and scaly. Dead. Ouchies. Help, I'm on fire. Ouchies. No, 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 no. Help. 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 Help.
That's the last of him.
Yeah, I thought I'd fought Manta Queens before. They're kind of common. It's just that one in particular was like a boss fight Manta Queen. It was a big bad.
Hello there. A word, if I may be so bold.
Oh hey, I'm finally on the other side of this bridge that I saw earlier.
Well now, here I thought those mantisaurs had peacefully exited the premises. But you're a simpler explanation. Thanks for the assistance. Name's Weston. Every once in a while I set up shop along these here roads. You find yourself in need of resupply, you come on by. Care to purchase a thing or two?
Show me what you have. And oh, he doesn't have the usual. You don't have the usual? What am I supposed to do without the usual? Anyway. Wink. Long guns plus 7's a little tempting, although I think these are all generally things that that would drop for me if I just kept an eye out. Might even have one right now and just didn't notice. Lockpicking plus 10. There's my lockpicking item. Well, yeah, that explained the lack of people. Like what's that? People are missing at the bridge? What could possibly have gone wrong about the bridge? I lived. Also, you guys are that's terrifying.
I'd stake my reputation on this being an ambush.
Bunch of amateurs. Sublight should have seen this coming.
Seems like this quest is actually the reason, an explanation for why this bridge is blown out the way we saw. Like it was their plan. A trail of blood leads away from the autoloader. Hello. Well, that's interesting. You guys really blew it by making it so easy to follow you here, huh? Enemy killed. Ah. That's how you take those beams out. No, the sprats. I've killed them all. Oh, waste not, want not. As you can see, I'm subtly sneaking in and no one's going to see me coming.
Stay back. I may be wounded, but I'm still armed. How'd you get past my traps anyway?
Didn't you hear? I've got moves.
Just remember, I still got bullets, in case you get any funny ideas.
I've got time
dilation. What are you
dilation.
doing out here anyway?
Let me take a look at your wounds.
That feels a mite better. Wish I had something to give you, but I gnawed through my last spratwurst an hour ago.
What's with all the traps?
Cave like this makes a handy place to store goods or hide out for a spell. And the traps usually keep gawkers out.
I want to know what happened here.
Catherine had us making drops for some big shot client out here. And before you ask, I don't know who they are. Or were. The whole point of making drops in the middle of nowhere was to keep their identity and whereabouts a secret.
Looks like that turned out well.
Yeah. I guess the Marauders noticed because they were waiting for us. Blew the bridge and took off with the goods.
Where'd the Marauders go?
Last I saw, they were heading back up the hill. You'll see it on the right when you get out of here. If you got the sand to go after him, I'm sure Catherine can reward you for your trouble. Me? I'm headed back to Fallbrook just as soon as I've caught my breath.
So many items. There we go. Got my new handy dandy armor. That's the difference between not having enough to do it at all to having enough to do it for free.
Nimble fingers, Captain.
Yeah, they are. Now that I got my nimble fingers jacket on, that makes my fingers the nimbliest of the entire galaxy. What is my skill at with this? 80. Oh, look what he looks like. Look at what he looks like with this jacket on. Oh, it's so much better. That rifle, that jacket, that hair, the Han Solo pants. And now he's boring. But defended. Gotta keep those organs on the inside. Just had to go and make yourself unusually difficult to walk up to, huh? Alright, well, that's all the traps gone. Yeah. They're lapping up the blood. That guy apparently had a lot of blood to spare. Like he bled everywhere and still hadn't been treated correctly, apparently. Topographic lines indicate we can go around this way. Here we go.
Please, you don't have to do this. Just let us down from here. The humidity is... Look, I didn't mean what I said about your outfit. It's very fashionable, I swear.
Oh, I'd pay to see that again.
Watch out!
I don't think they like that. I don't. Oh no. Somebody criticized somebody's outfit. This guy does not know combat's happening, apparently. That's embarrassing. How did I miss? There we go.
Libations on me, folks.
Knock knock, motherfucker. Oh, things went badly in here. 100? Alright, we'll get that key card, goddamn. They do not want you to be able to open that thing out of order. Not unless you made it your entire character's build to be able to open stuff out of order. Because you just hate waiting for key cards. Hi. Bye.
Make him regret it.
I'll teach you to hesitate. Well, that happened. I missed, but it didn't matter. But that time I didn't. Anybody up here? Nope, they got attracted by the noise. You basically flush out human beings in these games the same way that you flush out zombies in The Walking Dead. You just make a loud noise at the front door and they all come running, and then you just shoot them in a very controlled, reliable manner. And then you freely explore the area that's now devoid of enemies. It's not the best choice. But you're stuck with us. They do not want you to run out of materials here. No siree. I believe I got the keypad for this. Universal Defense Logistics. This terminal may only be used by UDL personnel with S564 clearance. If you're reading this without S564 clearance, please report to your supervisor for immediate termination and disciplinary action, including but not limited to fines in excesses of 100,000 bits, detention in a UDL authorized incinerator center up to 349 months, and a personal letter from Chairman Rockwell expressing his extreme disappointment. Letter not actually written by Chairman Rockwell, however, it is an approximation of his tone and vocabulary with a 99.8% degree of accuracy, so you should still feel very ashamed. Unlock Gloop Gun containment unit. Oh. To confirm you are an authorized Universal Defense Logistics Security Specialist, please answer the following questions. You are attending a company meeting at HHC headquarters in Byzantium and a vile dissidents attack the building. What is your priority? Protect the chairman. Yeah, obviously. Because they don't care about your safety. You are perusing one of the many UDL personnel security mega outlets and enjoying your fine selection of employee compliance equipment when you are approached by a stranger. He makes an offhanded comment that could be construed as a direct insult to Chairman Rockwell. What do you do? Berate him relentlessly to defend the chairman's honor. You and your spouse have a healthy, loving relationship, but one day you discover that they are reading unsanctioned stories to your children. What do you do? Arrest your spouse and admit your children to a re-education program. Cool. I'm a nightmare person. Reminder, indoor use of this weapon will result in cleaning fees being deducted from your paycheck. Have a pleasant day. I'm a bad person. But they're worse. Research data. After successful trials, management has decided to put Project Not a Toy on hold. UDL will instead peruse projects with a wider area of effect for more practical large-scale crowd control. Before anyone asks, this does not mean I'm unlocking the gun. It's still off limits. NS. Research log 14. Early results are promising. We've managed to increase the surface tension of the gloop to create a controlled and predictable spread of the substance. Management wants a catchier name, though. I told Powell we're not using the project sticky bits, but he refused to refer to it as anything else. It doesn't even make sense. The gloop particles are nearly frictionless. Powell and Chastity have started to show interest in the project. which should be good, but their trials seem to involve covering various hard-to-reach surfaces in Gloop and launching expensive equipment at them. I'm gonna have to talk with them. Someone filled my underwear drawer with Gloop. I have theories. Chastity used the Gloop Gun in our office paintball game yesterday. She said it was a mistake, but this is the third time she's made the same mistake, and she managed to cover the door panel with the stuff. Damn, things have been going haywire ever since. Do you know how hard it is to clean Gloop? Chassis doesn't, because every time I pull out the latex and solvent, she remembers she's got actual work to do. From now on, I'm locking the damn gun up. They made a dumb Gloop gun that makes like giant messes. They couldn't deal with it. Jesus Christ, how do I have so many weapons? They just come in so quickly. It's not the best choice. Ooh. You're stupid, aren't you? Yummy. The development of this weapon was halted when one of the scientists working on it was killed by Marauders. The remaining team realized that no one understood her portion of the work. How the Gloop was produced, how it counteracts gravity, how it creates and conducts electricity is unknown. The Gloop gun was designed to suppress workers and angry mobs. It lobs a mass of gloop that spatters across a wide area. It both shocks and weakens those affected, and more surprisingly, levitates them in the air temporarily. Increasing your science skill increases the weakened duration. Huh. It levitates them. How completely bizarre. I feel like I should have gone back and specialized in science weapons this whole time. Just because that seems to be where the more entertaining guns are. Oh well.